There is Group 1 action again this weekend at Newmarket with the Dewhurst Stakes, a championship two-year-old race that we are all looking forward to, and we'll be discussing it in depth in this Timeform and Sporting Live production. I'm Ben Linfoot, joined by Richard Mann and Matt Brocklebank to go through the feature action at Newmarket on Saturday. Welcome along, gents. Matt, it's a good card, and the Dewhurst, a good race that we always look forward to.
Brilliant, yeah, great time of year, isn't it? Don't forget we're weaving in a little bit of action from Chepstow as well across
on this video
ITV schedule this weekend. I'm going to be previewing that as well. But yeah, the Dewhurst does look a great race, and it could potentially have a great horse at the top of the betting as well. Absolutely.
Let's look at the Dewhurst Timeform ratings, and we will see City of Troy sitting at the top on a weight-adjusted rating of 130p. And he is well clear on ratings, Matt.
He is well clear, yeah. This looks a really good crop of juveniles, just speaking broadly, for Aidan O'Brien this season. Wasn't necessarily looking the case this time last year, but this looks a great bunch. Diego Velasquez, he's already looking the part. Henry Longfellow, who stepped in for this guy at the Curragh in the National Stakes, he's borderline Guineas standard already. But this could be the one, couldn't it? You know, the one that... maybe the one that O'Brien's been looking for throughout his career. It sounds probably too early to even suggest that after two career starts, but, you know, he's already achieved a huge amount in a couple of runs, and that superlative win at Newmarket was absolutely striking. Look, I've been poking fun at a few of the Timeform guys in the office there. His master rating is 119p. Obviously, there you see on screen is, you know, 130 going into this adjusted figure. And you can't really have too many complaints. Historically, that is extremely high for this time of year. To have posted that number by midsummer is out of the ordinary. Just to set it in some sort of context, Frankel ended his juvenile career with a master rating of 133p. So he's got a fair way to go to do that, but this is really, really high for the time of year. Pinatubo, he was actually 134 by the end of the year, and then before that, you're going way back to 95, and Celtic's wins Doncaster victory, that romp in 94. So we're really setting this horse amongst some of the great two-year-olds in recent years. I hope he delivers, because he hasn't even got Group 1 experience yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. Let's have a look at him winning his Group 2 in the Superlative Stakes at Newmarket in July. And the key thing with this performance is it was just his second start in July, and he ran to a huge figure because of this, you know, such a dominant performance.
He was razor sharp for this, wasn't he? He was brilliant on the day. It actually only came just a fortnight after the Curragh maiden win, first time out, and quite frankly, he's absolutely battered this field at Newmarket. Now, what's he actually beaten? It's probably a fair question that we should all be asking about this short price favourite. And in truth, 15 starts these horses in behind have produced since, and only a couple of them have won since. So one or two question marks perhaps on that. But the second, Hartem, I think he reopposes, doesn't he, for Richard Hannon. He's not a superstar, but he's rocked up just about every dance. He's run at all the big meetings throughout the year.
Solid yardstick.
Yeah, he's solid, isn't he? He's won the Vintage Stakes. He wasn't beaten a million miles in the Coventry. So we're clearly looking, I think, at the best two-year-old around at the minute. He's extremely exciting with next year in mind. With that in mind, he's 5-2 for the Guineas. He's 7-2 for the Derby already, and he's going to be odds on this weekend. So you're not going to get rich backing him, but he's a very exciting prospect.
It's not all about City of Troy, Rich, is it, this Dewhurst Stakes? We've got some other good contenders in there, including Iberian from the Charles Hill stable, who put down a Dewhurst marker, you would say, last time out in the Champagne Stakes.
Yeah, I think if you looked at him in isolation and forget City of Troy for a second, he's a really exciting colt in his own right. I thought he was learning on the job at Goodwood when he was beaten by Hartem, who City of Troy is obviously hammered. But I felt Iberian was probably the best horse in the race that day. Didn't really handle Goodwood, looked really unfinished, but at Doncaster, much more like the finished article. And I love the way in soft ground he quickened up and he stretched his neck out really well. A little bit green in front, but did the job for me really well, and I think he's really exciting. Whether he can beat City of Troy is another matter, but I think he's a really good colt going forward. He'll handle the ground, and I thought Charlie Hill's comments after that race at Doncaster, he talked about his work being unbelievable. Now, he's had some pretty special horses through his hands in the last few years, so that could be a tip in itself, but clearly he's up against the favourite.
He's unbelievable. City of Troy is unnatural, according to Aidan O'Brien, so we've got some clash.
Yeah, we talk them up at this time of year, don't we? And the ground could be a big big thing. I mean, we've had rain at Newmarket. It's turned soft on the Friday. It might dry out again a little bit by the Saturday. But if you're looking for potential holes in the favourite, soft ground's a new question mark.
Well, he didn't run at the colour because it was soft ground, apparently.
Wasn't that soft?
Wasn't that soft. I mean, we've had a lot of rain, haven't we, in the last few days. That will put me off. The other thing I just wanted to mention quickly about the favourite, though, Aidan O'Brien's just feeling his way with Justify Progeny. It's a new sire for him, and I know me and Matt have spoken a lot about Dewhurst as well. He's got a few more now, hasn't he? He's tended to take his time with them, and you've seen them improve race from race. I don't know if he's just thinking, let's just have a look at them, see what we've got, don't push too many buttons early. So potentially, there could be quite a bit more to come from City of Troy. Only had 2 starts. Really exciting.
He's an exciting horse. Let's have a look at the pace map and we can decipher how this might be run. And I suspect City of Troy's stablemate Henry Adams, the dot in the middle on the right there, might be the pace angle. He ran well from the front in the Lagardère last time, Matt.
Yeah, I think he's almost certainly the pace angle here, and he could be the angle into a potential bet in the race. Look, he's been completely dismissed in the betting. He's 20-25 to 1. I wouldn't completely rule out a positive showing from this horse. Frankie Dettori's obviously been booked to ride. It's not necessarily anything to do with the Tory booking, rather the fact he's got some good form in the book already. He's actually officially rated 108 already, and that's just £2 below Iberian, who's 4 to 1. So there seems like a slightly weird discrepancy there. He's bred to improve and improve. And he's the horse in the field with Group 1 experience, as you say. He didn't disgrace himself from the front end at Longchamp when the principals swept by him in the end and came from a much further back in the field. Look, he's priced up at 25s, 33s on the basis of City of Troy, but look, O'Brien's had the 1-2 in the Dewhurst on 5 occasions throughout his career. He's won 7 of the races already. And
he's had some big prize winners.
Well, he's had big prize winners, but the seconds were 50 to 1, 66, 20, 13 to 2, 15 to 2. It sort of screams forecast to me, doesn't it? I mean, Henry Adams is about 12 to 1 in places without the favourite. That could be the angle into it.
Ballydial forecast, possible bet. But final video, Clowrich, Alyanaabi and Shadwell Horse. You'll see in the blue and white silks here, and I thought he did really well this day to come from off the pace and get up from the position that he was in. Yeah,
100%. He was in a terrible position. He hit 65 in running on Betfair. I mean, particularly at Newmarket.
I mean, he's travelling, isn't he?
He is, but at Newmarket,
still,
you don't want to be here. Pace usually holds up on that rail, but he quickens up really, really smartly. I think he deserves a crack at this. This was only Group 3. He definitely deserves a crack at Group 1 company now. When you watch him here, he does quicken up really well, but ground completely different on Saturday. And Owen Burrows, straight after the race, said we'll probably come back for the Dewhurst if the ground's the same. It was good to firm that day. It'll be no good to firm come Saturday.
OK, then, let's finalise our thoughts. Are we always City of Troy, or is there some sort of exotic or each-way bet to get stuck into, Rich?
Yeah, I think the favourite's hard to beat, but I do like Iberian. I think he'll run well.
Yeah, O'Brien's won 7 Dewhurst, as I say. He'll become the joint most successful Dewhurst trainer with an 8th win. I fully expect this horse to deliver. And it might just be a 6th forecast for the trainer as well.
The Dewhurst Stakes, 2 o'clock at Newmarket on Saturday. Don't miss it. We could see something special, hopefully, from City of Troy. But it's not the big betting race of the day. That is 40 minutes later. The Club Godolphin Cesarewitch Handicap. Over 2 mile 2, 34 runners, I think. Huge field anyway, and plenty to discuss here. We can look at the time form ratings and familiar at the top there, Irish Raiders and Pied Piper, Matt. Time form top rated, and he's top of the market as well.
Yeah, he is. He looks short enough. Gordon Elliott, obviously, this horse has been pretty short throughout the anti-post kind of since the market first went live, but obviously when Ryan Moore was confirmed, his price has only got shorter and shorter. He's a 157 rated hurdler, and don't forget he beat Vauban in a maiden over hurdles a couple of years back as well. So he's got that touch of class. He's able to run here off a mark of 96, BHA mark of 96, which leads me to believe he's on a very fair mark. He's obviously pretty well found, as I say, in the betting. He's won 6 races in his career. 3 of them have come in October, so this looks like maybe his time of year as well. And for some reason, though, a potential negative is that I've got kind of in the back of my mind that he's maybe not the most resolute in a finish. Now, that could be me being a little bit harsh. I think possibly that county hurdle defeat sticks in my mind a little bit just from last season, but you wouldn't necessarily hold that against him too much. His strike rate's okay, but yeah, has he got the bottle for a Cesarewitch Pied Piper? I don't know. I know he handles all sorts of ground, but yeah, it'd be just a little bit of a question mark against me. Maybe Ryan Moore's going to make his mind up for him.
Yeah, for all Pied Piper's solid claims, he does look fairly short and well found in the betting, and there are a couple of interesting ones just behind him in the betting, Vino Victrix and Grand Providence, which is good because we've got a video clue of the pair here. Rich finishing 2nd and 4th at Goodwood last time.
Yeah, Vino Victrix stays on for 4th here, but 2nd in the Cesarewitch last year. Looks like they've been targeting the Cesarewitch again all season, really. But Grand Providence, the 3-year-old filly, she runs really well here, finishes 2nd, staying on all the way to the line. I think she was probably just about the best horse in the race this day. Winner comes across her a little bit. I'm not sure she's in love with the track. But she runs all the way to the line and then goes to Newmarket next time, wins the trial when stepped up to 2 Mile 2. It was a really good run at Newmarket. She just kept finding really everything you want in a Cesarewitch horse. But Scoop, you picked out some stats earlier about 3-year-olds in this race, and it's not fantastic actually. 2 from 48 in the last 25 years, 17 losers since Darley's son won in 2009, and even Coltrane was beaten in this race as well when he went off a short price. So that'd be against Grand Providence. Positives, I think she'll like the ground. She's clearly on the improve. I think out of the 2 we've just seen, I'd prefer Vino Victrix. I think this race has again been the target. Cracking run last year to finish 2nd to run for Oscar. Hughie Morrison, just a brilliant target trainer, and I suspect this has been the aim for a while now. Just ticks loads of boxes. The ground, in theory, is an unknown, but he's got plenty of form with cutting the ground, maybe not quite as soft as this. I think I'd go for him.
Yeah, for all that the Irish trainers have dominated, this says, in recent years, Hughie Morrison's horses have held their own. He's had placed horses, he's won the race. He's also got Not So Sleepy, who could run well in the Cesarewitch once again on Saturday. Let's have a look at the pace map. There's lots of horses here, so we're talking about dots, but you'll see Goshen at the top there, drawn on the inside in 1. He's probably going to go forward, Matt, you would think?
Yeah, absolutely. They won't want to go too hard, will they, given the distance, the rain-softened ground. But, yeah, you've got a huge field, a lot of prize money offer and a lot of highly energised, razor-sharp horses. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a good gallop. As you can see there, you've got Not So Sleepy, Goshen, as you mentioned, Golden Shot is a forward goer, Blaze on 5, I quite like her, the mare, for Roger Teal, and Emin, I know he's a bit of a Chester specialist, but he'd probably be up there as well, I'd have thought as well. So it does look likely they'll go a good clip. I don't actually mind a forward ride in this. Obviously, it's a race that traffic problems can become an issue just when the pace starts to quicken. It's just whether the front runners are able to kind of take it a little bit easier at halfway stage and ease off a little bit and save something for that final straight. But if you are looking at the draw, it's worth noting that 7 of the past 10 winners were actually housed in stalls 13 to 24. So I'd much prefer a central position than one very, very low, Goshen, and those much higher as well, because obviously really high, you can potentially find it a bit of a struggle to find a nice early pitch.
Just before we get to selections, let's talk about a couple of well-fancied Irish raiders. There's plenty of them. The shunter, Rich. I mean, we've seen Willie Mullins win this race quite a few times. Now we've got Emmett Mullins with a possible one. He's a dead interesting horse.
Yeah, he's a dead interesting target trainer, isn't he? Just about the best around at the moment. This horse is fascinating, actually. He's a 10-year-old now, but he's only had 5 runs on the flat, rating of 95, sorry. But Chaser, 148, really classy chaser, really classy hurdler. And he is another one who looks like he's been teed up for this all year. I mean, the run last time over a mile and a half, 2 months ago, that's screamed teeing up for something else. He caught the eye at Naas late last year as well, finishing 4th. I think the trip will really suit, the ground will really suit. I just think at 11 to 1, a 10-year-old going to win a Cesarewitch, I think I'd probably prefer to put my money elsewhere, but then with the Emmett Mullins factor.
It's dangerous, isn't it, saying that when it comes to Emmett Mullins and a well-fancied horse like this in a race like this.
I find with the shunter, like, he's one of those horses that those heroics in 2020-21 when he combined like the Greatwood Hurdle and then obviously won at the festival as well. He hasn't done a huge amount since, has he? But when you see him suddenly rated 94 on the flat for a race like this, you've got to be interested.
Jesse Evans, Matt, final video clue, 4th in the Irish Cesarewitch last time out. Horrible conditions this day.
It was wet, wasn't it?
But he stayed on nicely for 4th.
Yeah, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, Scoop, because this is a horse that I really like. I fancy him. I've got a bit of an obsession with Jesse Evans. Look, I loved his sire, So You Think. I just thought he'd run through anything. He was such a game, tough horse. Loved a battle.
You had to be tough this day to get in the first 4 or 5.
Exactly, and this really, on paper, isn't Jesse Evans' conditions. He does handle, obviously, all sorts of ground, but I think he'd probably prefer slightly better ground, like most of them would. But he's there in the red on the outside, giving his all as ever. He's not actually too far behind the likes of Pied Piper when you look at his hurdles rating. He's rated 150 in the jumps code, so he runs here off 95. Now, he's run superb races all year over hurdles and on the flat. He's won at Leopardstown and Killarney on the level, and then he's finished second again in the Galway hurdle. That was behind Zarek the Brave, who I know Willie Mullins did have a hugely high opinion of before his disappointing run subsequently, but thought that was a cracking effort in the Galway hurdle. Last month he went to the Irish Cesarewitch. Despite the conditions, he's run his heart out. He was only beaten a length. Now, that came off an Irish mark of 96. And over in Ireland, they've actually since bumped him up to 101. So when you see him running here off 95, you've got to kind of take it a little bit of guesswork, but he's probably going to be £8 or £9 well in. I know it doesn't say that officially on the race card, but given this was an early closer and he's since run a belter on the flat, I think he's well in. Ushino takes the ride. Fantastic jockey. And I like his draw. He's stall 18 and he's about 12 to 1, 14 to 1. So a strong each way fancy.
Plenty to like about Jesse Evans. Rich, have you got a final selection?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Vino Victrix.
Yeah, not concerned about the ground?
A little bit, but I think he's still got loads going for him.
Yeah, Hughie Morrison, an interesting pair. I quite like Not So Sleepy myself in the says. I think he could run well again in the race. Right then, you've got 30 seconds each for your best bet on Saturday. Rich, we're going to come to you first.
Welcome Dream, 4.25 at Newmarket, the nursery. Things haven't really gone to plan for this horse yet. Well fancied at Ascot, the maiden Indian Run won, but then went to Carlisle. Should have won that day, should have got the race in the steward's room, didn't, but now comes here in a nursery off 83. Son of Night of Thunder, I think he'll love the ground. I think he's well handicapped.
And you are a nursery specialist, aren't you? Very good.
I do like my 2-year-old races.
Very good in
nurseries.
nurseries.
I do like my 2-year-old races.
Matt, 30 seconds for you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Titian, Scoop, in the 3.35 at York. He's an in-form horse. He ran a really good race in 3rd in a valuable contest at Redcar last week. That was over a mile. Now, this horse has got previous course and distance experience at York, and I think he's going to benefit from a return to 10 furlongs. Also handles soft ground as well and represents a Julie Camacho team having a fantastic year, and hopefully they can sign off with a winner on the final card at York this season.
Excellent stuff. Thank you guys for the best bets. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the Dewhurst and the Cesarewitch. Good luck with your own bets, and we'll see you again next week.
You can watch more Sporting Life video by clicking on the left here, and you can download the free Sporting Life app in your app store now for the latest news, expert tipping insight and big race analysis, all at the tap of a finger. Users must be 18 or over to sign up to the Sporting Life app.